What's going on, beautiful people? Today we are rebuilding one of my favourite German teams, Borussia Dortmund, a team so close to the top, very shy of winning that Champions League this year. It's going to be our main challenge alongside of winning the Bundesliga. We are capping ourselves a 5-season limit to win the Bundesliga and the Champions League and rebuild the team in general. If you do enjoy the rebuilds, be sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment below right now 2 teams you want to see get a rebuild. Let's start. But again, I do want to quickly say if you are interested in getting this rebuild file after the video, you can do so by joining the Patreon, the link below, and also you get all my tactics and much more. Definitely worth to go and have a little look at. But let's go through and talk about Dortmund. So of course they are a 4-star reputation side, 4.5-star training, 4.5-star youth facilities, and 3.5-star youth recruitment. And if I don't say so myself, they've got some good young players. So we're going to try and maximise their potential and really use what they've got at the club. Now in terms of the overview, of course they have won things: a Champions League, 8 Bundesligas, 1 European Cup, 1 Intercontinental Cup, 5 Pokals, and 6 German Super Cups. So the history's there, but for me today, I'm going to win another Champions League and definitely another Bundesliga title. And luckily for me, I will say, although it doesn't matter finance-wise, if I was going to spend money, I'd had £8 million. It's better than nothing, but we did not make signings in the first window. For those of you back home, you've got £8.5 million to play with, so that is completely up to you. Now, going over the squad, we are going to look at some of the positives, some of the downsides. I mean, contract situation, for example. We've got a couple of players who obviously have got short contracts. Jadon Sancho, a very hot topic. If he performs to be signed on the permanent, potentially, depending on the fee, of course. I'm not going to pay anything over £50 million for him because I don't really think he is worth it in my opinion. So we'll see what happens with Jadon Sancho. Obviously Maatsen out on loan as well, a player who I believe has moved in real life, but it's a video game, so I'll see what I want to do with him at the end of the day. Hummels is a player, of course, coming to his retirement, 34 years of age, but he has been a legend at the club, so we love you, Hummels. We absolutely love you. What a player he is. Obviously Marco Reus, again, same age, same caliber of player, more loyal than Hummels to some extent, an absolute baller and a player who, if he wasn't struck with injury so much of his career, could have genuinely gone on to, he has done great things, but I mean above and beyond great things. Some really good players in this team. And then you go to the other side of perspective. If we go by the age, actually filter by the age, look at the young players. Duranville, a player who is so hotly prospected, a player who just everyone wants. People love him in this game. Such a hot sort of purchase. People try and get him every save. We've been giving him from the start, as we are Dortmund, of course. Makoko, I can take or leave him this year. He's either good or he's awful, so it's a 50-50, and I'm not a manager who locks in players 24/7 to force them to be good. I will give every single player in this squad an opportunity to prove himself, and that is why we do not lock in everyone. Obviously Gittins is another one. I wouldn't say he's as good as Duranville, but again, a very solid option. A player, again, who lots of people try and go after and sign, so we've got to try and protect these players. Now, Rayner's an interesting one. He's out on loan, of course, at Nottingham Forest, and if he has a good season, I will give him a chance, but he's on loan for a reason, and that reason is because he's not good enough, so we'll see what he can do. Obviously, Ademi's another fantastic player we can sit and talk about for absolutely decades, an incredible player right there. And overall, some other players like Julian Brandt, we've obviously got Schlotterbeck, we've got Donny Marlin, we've got lots of decent players, Sabitzer, Emre Can, Haller, we've got some good players in this team. Cabell, obviously one of the best goalkeepers in Football Manager, genuinely an absolute lifesaver having him at the club. Now, the tactic, I'm simply going to load in a basic 4-3-3 because it works with Dortmund. I want to try and get the job done. I want to see what we're sort of working with in the first season. In that first season, we are playing in the Bundesliga, the Champions League, and the Pokal. Now, they are predicting a finish of around about 2nd place. It's fair enough. Above Bayer Leverkusen and Leipzig. Above Leverkusen, fair enough. Is what it is. It's a video game. But let's get into the first season, see what we can do. I'm fairly confident. I mean, we've got good players. I'm going to predict a 2nd place finish and a cheeky Pokal win. Let's get into the first season. Maybe I've got a crystal ball on the go here because we are in the Pokal final. The question is, was I right with the outcome? Emre Can back to the fullback, into a demi, inside. Chef's kiss play, beautiful play. Marco Reus gets the goals going. It's going to be Kim Min-jae now playing it out. Great press there from the left back, into a demi, through into Folrug, who's going to go by himself into the bottom right-hand corner to make it 2-0. And we are quite lucky because we managed to deal off with everything apart from this error here from Hummels. Alphonso Davies picks it up into Sane. He's going to cut it back into Kane, but we win 2-1. The Champions League wasn't a bad display either. We didn't get to the final like they did in real life, but we get to the semi-finals where unfortunately we do lose against AC Milan by 1 goal, but I was not expecting to win it in the first season. We're not simply ready for that challenge yet. What I will say is the Bundesliga, It's quite convincing second place. Obviously, RB Leipzig, what I thought it said Bayern. RB Leipzig come out on top with 93 points. Bayern down in third place, which is surprising. We come out, second place, we'll claim it. Not far behind Leipzig. It does worry me a little bit because Bayern have their off-season now. Next season, they're going to be better, and following on. They're going to be absolutely incredible. What I will say is, we have got a big Niklas coming in as a second top goal scorer. Julian Blunt, and it is going to be Maatsen in second and third place when it comes to the average rating. We've got Julian Blunt picking up 17 assists in the season. We are not going to be anywhere in terms of clean sheets, which does worry me a little bit. In terms of the stats overall for the league, though, we are scoring the most goals. We're having the most shots. We're joint with Bayern with fewer shots against, which is very rare you see that. Possession-wise, we're up there. We're not really focusing on possession, though. Conceded, we're rank 1, and clean sheets, we're in 4th place. So we're quite consistent, I want to say. Possession, I'm not really fussed about because we're not focused on that too much. Overall, quite a good season as a team. What about individually? So individually, we are going to be looking at 29 goals for Niklas. Now, this is what I'm saying. I will not just purely lock in Moukoko when you've got a player in Niklas. So yes, he's 31, but if he's scoring goals upon goals, he can stay and score me goals upon goals because Moukoko can develop and develop and develop. Jadon Sancho had an okay season, 12 and 9 goals. I can take or leave that, to be honest. No real emergency to go and sign him. I don't know if we can even actually go and ask him. We will see how much they want. They're going to want, yeah, 46 to 68 million. Probably isn't going to run, to be honest with you. Emre Can had an okay season. Everyone, you know, it's a bit of a drop-off in goals apart from Niklas and Sancho. But assist-wise, you've got 23 for Julian Blunt. Marco Reus, 7 and 16. 13 for Ademi. Obviously, Reina had an okay season out on loan, but nothing too special. As I said, I'm a man of my word. I will give him an opportunity to have one more season and prove to me what he can do in the mighty Bundesliga. In terms of the best performer, though, we are really looking, probably these two didn't get too much game time, so we are going to go down to Niklas. I mean, he's 31 years of age, but if you look at the lad, he's quite slow, but he's got good finishing, he's got great composure. He's a Lewandowski sort of figure in terms of that sort of build. He's doing the job, and I'm not going to take him away from that at the end of the day, but of course, going over to the tactics page, we can go and have a little look, filtered by the best 11, and there are players we need to replace. You know, for example, if Sancho goes, Royce is probably going to retire at some point. Hummels, maybe some better fullbacks as well. Better backup wingers, maybe backup strike. Not back. Actually, we're fine on the wings. Calm down, Josh. Calm down. We've got Gittins. We've got Duran. Yeah, we're fine on the wings, Josh. Calm down. Calm down. Maybe one player to replace Sancho, but other than that, calm yourself down. But overall, it's the midfield we might need to bolster a little bit, and obviously replacement in Matt Hummels, because I believe we've got Schlotterbeck, Hummels, Schluhl, and Papadopoulos. Now, if Hummels retires, we're going to need one anyway. Now, I might sign one this season because Papadopoulos isn't much cop anyway. I might try and offload him. Schlotterbeck and obviously Schluhl are very good players. But Hummels is a good player, but he's getting older. We might need to bring in someone younger. And we have been given a budget of 70 million big ones. Now, for me, that's enough to go and cook up a storm. So let's get into the second transfer window and let's make some magic happen. I'm going to wave goodbye to Mori. It wasn't actually my decision. It is going to be a decision made by the board. He is going to go on the free to Levante, which in my opinion is daylight robbery. We have missed out on a player there who potentially has got some value. I mean, he hasn't, but he looks good to me. He's a good backup option. I rate him. Oh, they do call me Installment Daily. They call me Installment Daily. And I'm going to say it right now. This is a winger who I have signed purely out of two things. One, because the option was there to sign him. The board allowed it. And secondly, he is a player who can actually win you a Champions League and a Bundesliga, potentially single-handedly. The guy's an absolute machine. He is quick. He has got good dribbling, good finishing, good determination, good flair, good passing, good technique, can play on the left, can play up front. He's 23 years of age, a leading Bundesliga player, and he still can grow. But we paid £105 million for him. We paid big, we spent big, we got big. You might think it's enough. Nah, we've done this signing before him, mainly with the money we had. That is going to be bringing in Mohamed Simakan from RB Leipzig, an absolute unit of a defender. Can play centre-back and right-back, both to a very high level, by the way. He has got the pace easily to play at right-back and obviously at centre-back. Good tackling, good bravery, good determination. Only 24 years of age on £180,000 a week, and he sent me back £60 million. So it is a it's an expensive transfer window, we can say that. Obviously, nearly spending double to, actually spending over double of our transfer budget, which shows the instalment factor coming in. But the team now looks a little bit like this. So we are going to have Cabell, Simakan, Hummels, who we are going to have one more season with, Schlotterbeck, I'm not going to say the left back because I will butcher the name, Emre Can, Sabitzer, Royce, Julian Brandt, Kavar, and we've got Niklas up front. And the bench also remains very, very strong because we've got the likes of Reina coming back, we've got Ozcan, we've got a lot of players coming back, obviously, who we might not have had last time. We've only lost one player. We've lost one player, we've got loads of players on the bench who can do the job to a very high level, and genuinely, this team, although it's only a couple of players, I'm a lot more confident now, mainly in the right back, but of course, Sancho's not as good as Kavar, is he? So let's just get that over and dealt with, because Sancho, I'm not going to spend the money on him. They wanted like 68 million, not going to happen. I'd rather spend the extra 40 odd and get a player like him in, because he's younger, he's a better talent, and genuinely, he looks absolutely incredible. We are now playing in 4 competitions. The Bundesliga, where they are predicting, I imagine, a second place again, a third place finish, okay, and they are also going to be hitting us in the Champions League, the Pokal, and the German Super Cup. Now, I'm a man with a crystal ball, and I'm going to predict a Bundesliga second place finish, a Pokal, and a German Super Cup win. Let's get into season number 2. Champion! Well, I did not expect this at all. We are going to be your Bundesliga winners in season 2. So that is one of 2 challenges completed with just 2 seasons being played. It was semi-comfortable with a 9-point advantage over RB Leipzig. Bayern Munich not enjoying their football. They are going to have no manager, which is to be expected after their form. I mean, God knows what's happening at that club. We are going to take it though. Niklas, again, joint first goal scorer. The first time in a long time I've seen 3 players all be joint first. Ademi, second best performer overall in the league, and also Sabitzer and Marco Reus, again joint first when it comes to the most clean sheets. Cabell picks up the second most amount of clean sheets, and as a team, we are cooking. Most points per game, most goals, most shots, fewer shots against, and defensively, we were an absolute brick wall. Probably helps having Cabell in goal, to be fair. Possession-wise, again, not too fussed, but to show you, 55% of the ball. Now, individual players, what are we saying? Let's go and have a little look. So it is going to be, yeah, you've got Niklas coming in at the age of 32. He's still going to play the games because he's getting the job done. 30 goals from him. We've got Kavar coming in with 18, Ademi with 13, Marco Reus with 11 and 15. In potentially his last season, that is a very good send-off. Sabitzer coming in with 10 and 16, Julian Brandt with 8 and 11. I want to see a little bit more from him, to be honest with you. But other than that, the players are putting on a great display. And what a season the new man had. 18 and 14, second top goal scorer, and obviously he's not a striker, so we'd love to be seeing that. I might actually have shoot more often on him for the next season, just to really try and maximise what he can offer as a player. But that is a really good season from Niklas, who is a player who I keep banging on about, but he is getting the job done. We've seen the Bundesliga. Did we win anything else? To the German Super Cup final at the start of the season, and look who scored in his first competitive game against his former team. A little bit awkward there. Leipzig do bounce back with Raum driving down the left-hand side into Elmas to make it 1-1, but we come through in the 80th minute. Julian Brandt from Emre Can into Niklas, into Ademi, and pluck that one out, RB Leipzig. Other than that, though, that is going to be where we'll obviously be finished for this season. Semi-finals again in that Champions League against Liverpool. We are going to lose. It's not a battering, a 2-1 defeat, a very humble defeat, should we say. And of course, as we saw, third round by RB Leipzig, so they got revenge of us in that competition, 3-2. So very, very close margins, but overall a very, very strong season, not only for trophy perspective, for team stat perspective, and individual player perspective. Now, going into the third transfer window, we have been given £54 million to go and spend, which is a tidy budget to use, to be fair. And of course, we might find ourselves in the position where we've got players to sell, and we are going to have a little look right now at some potential candidates. So if we filter through the best 11 right now, we can expect to see this exact team. So realistically, in this team, who's going to be gone? So Julian Brandt, no. Niklas, no, unless we get offered serious money. Kavar, no. Sabitzer, I'm probably going to keep. Royce will probably retire. Hummels will probably retire. They might even be going. Hummels is wanted. I might let him go, and Royce is retiring. So they're probably both going to go, to be realistic with you. Emre Can, though. The fullbacks aren't going to go. Cabell's not going to go. Schlotterbeck's not going to go. Ademi's not going to go. Reina might go 1-1. He didn't get much game time, to be fair. Donny Marlon, I might keep for a backup. Gittins might maybe out on loan. Makoko's been diabolical. Maybe out on loan for him. Duranville, maybe out on loan. These wingers, you know, I'm not going to lock them in because I liked, when I do a rebuild, I think if I lock swap every player in. I'm only really rebuilding with that 11, not as a squad. I wish Football Manager sometimes had more of a open perspective of like, they will give younger players an opportunity, because I don't like to lock players in. Because, for example, if I lock in Duranville and I lock in Makoko, we're then not going to have any game time for Brandt or Niklas, who have been very good performers. So you've got to be realistic with it. But there's quite a few players who could go here. So we might actually up this budget from 54 to a lot more than that. But of course, not a bad season. There's 2 trophies. We've done well so far. But the main aim now is to win that Champions League. That's what we're missing. That is when the video will end. Let's get into the third transfer window. The first player I'm going to bring in is going to be James Garner, coming in from Everton, obviously Manchester United and Nottingham Forest, alongside of Watford as well. He's had a lot of time over in England, and I thought, do you know what? Come to Germany, come over. So do you know what? We're going to bring him in. He cost me a fair bit of money, to be fair, 54 million, big ones, and he is on not 100, £85,000 a week. But with this player, what you're getting is a very solid DM option, and of course, someone who's got 15 tackling, good teamwork, good work rate, very good stamina. He can put in a shift, and to be fair, would actually also be a very good box-to-box, which he can play. He can play deeper or more centrally. He's a very good addition to this midfield. And again, 24 years of age, it's not exactly old. I'm also going to bring in Martin, coming in from Dynamo. Now, this is a player who, to be fair, is going to be replacing your Marco Reus. So obviously, he's going to be retiring. He's going to fulfill that position, and he genuinely looks incredible. He's got great passing, great vision, great dribbling, okay when it comes to acceleration and pace, not the best, but again, he doesn't have to be a very direct, fast-paced attacking midfield player or Mazzala, just someone who can find the pass, got the dribbling, got the technique, and that's exactly what he has got in his locker. So for me, the perfect signing. And he sent me back a total of 28.5 million, which, to be honest, for a leading Bundesliga player at the age of 22 is a steal. We're then going to go on loan in Jurien Timber, but he is joining permanently for £30 million, just to clarify that. At the moment, a good Bundesliga player, but he looks incredible, very versatile, right back, centre back, similar to Simakan, left back and DM, a bit more than Simakan in that regard. Incredibly well-rounded player, and just one who was not developing too well at Arsenal. So I thought, do you know what? Come to Dortmund, I can change your career. Then got on a bit of a loan spree, and again, if you do pick up this save file for over on the Patreon, this is where your decision making comes in. We are going to loan in Lukas Sucic, coming in obviously from the likes of PSG. He's not getting game time. They brought him, didn't play him. They do it a lot, and this is going to be down to us to obviously give him some game time, build him up as a player, and PSG will probably say, thanks Josh, you're not having him for any price. But we're going to have him for a season. He doesn't look the best of the best, but for a backup option, we're going to take him. Another loanee player, but we have got him on the permanent, so don't worry, it's not all loans. That is going to be Jonas Urbig, coming in from FC Köln, a very good upcoming goalkeeper. Again, we couldn't really afford him to buy him directly, so we have agreed a transfer for next window, and he's just a player who can be a good backup for, obviously, our first team keeper. What I will say is, and it's bad management from me, I nearly went into this season with no backup goalkeeper. No, I love my Turkish players, and there will be no shot of signing him on the permanent, I highly doubt, but this guy is going to be joining us on loan. That is going to be none other than Arda Güler. He is an absolute machine in midfield, can play on the right and obviously in attacking midfield. Mazzala, shadow striker, whatever you really need from him, he will do to a very high level. He's on £89,000 a week. Again, you can see here 6.25 million in loan fees, and whether you can pick up this guy after, we'll have to see, but that will be very interesting. Unfortunately for me, despite trying, and I mean trying, going borderline into the next season, we couldn't offload anyone. We couldn't loan anyone out. They were all rejecting offers. So we've got a lot of players in this team now who are going to be fighting for their positions. And, you know, we are playing in what? The Bundesliga, the Champions League, the Pokal and the Super Cup, where we are predicted a finish of third place again. But the team is looking... The team's looking beautiful. Let's just make sure we're not making any mistakes. Sort of by the best 11. We've got Kabel, Simakan. We've got Hummels again. We've got Schlotterbeck. We've got the left back, Garner, Sabitzer. We've got Batarina. We've got Brandt. We've got Kavar. And we've got Niklas up front. But realistically, I'll filter by the best 11 and every position's up for debate. Kabel, you've got Urbig. You've got Schlull. You've got Sucic. You've got Ademi, Ryanson, Güler, Donny Marlon, Timber, Emre Can, Haller, Wolf, Ozcan, Makoko. We've got Namaka, Reyna, Gittins, Duranville. We have got so many players we can use now, and the team is so well rotated, it is unreal. So striker, you've got Niklas, you've then got Ademi, you've got Donny Marlon, you've got Makoko, you've got Haller, you've got so many options. The wings, you've got Kavar, you've got Brandt, you've got Ademi, you've got Güler, Marlon, Wolf, Reyna, you've got Gittins, you've got Duranville. Midfield, Garner, Sabitzer, Batarina, you've then got Sucic, Emre Can, Ozcan, Reyna, Pashon, you've got so many people. DM, you've got obviously Timber who can play there as well. We've got options for right back, we've got options for left back, we've got options for centre back, and we've got 2 great goalkeepers. This team can win a Champions League, and on top of this, I've made tactical changes. So the wingers are both now cutting inside and both shooting more often. The striker is on the default, the Mazzala default, box to box getting forwards, the DM on tackle harder, the wing backs on the default alongside of a default back line, and we have got rid of the higher line to go more in a bit more of a consistent approach, a bit more balance with a standard defensive line. I'm feeling confident, and I genuinely mean that. Let's get into Season 3 with one more task to win the Champions League. Starting off in that German Super Cup against Bayer Leverkusen, a very, very strong team, and they proved to be that, as they are going to go 1-0 up inside of 17 minutes. Luckily for us, our left back steps up and stuffs away a penalty into the top left-hand corner, with Kavar down the left taking on his man, ball in the box into Niklas, and that is why I have kept the 33-year-old, because he can do stuff like that, and we get the game done with another set piece. Trophy 1. Champions League final. The champ, not going to do that, but we are going to get off to a very good start now against Liverpool inside of 45 minutes to go 1-0 up. A long ball over the top. You can never go wrong. Garner now into Baturina, into Sucic, who sticks it into the bottom left-hand corner to make it 2-0. Liverpool do bounce back with Jamal Musiala through into Diaz to make it 2-1. A great bit of play there. It was given, don't you worry, Liverpool fans. But unfortunately for the Liverpool fans, we are going to go and make it 3-1 with Niklas in the Champions League final. A 3-1 advantage so far. Liverpool do bounce back down the right-hand side with Doak into Diaz again, but they don't score again, and we are going to be your Champions League winners. And we also win the Pokal, so it is so far a treble. Are we going to go and do the quadruple? No, we do not. We are going to finish in second place, and it is by 6 points. Bayern finally having their dominant season. Niklas wraps up this rebuild, becoming top goal scorer. And I will say, I've seen comments about longer rebuilds. I set myself a challenge. If we get them done quicker, I do apologise. But if you want to see a longer video, give me a big challenge and I'll make it happen, because then we can have a mega long rebuild if you want to see something like that. Maybe I should just say 5 seasons, and whatever we win, we win. But I like having a rebuild challenge because it makes it a lot more fun for me to make, and hopefully for you to enjoy back home. But a very, very strong season. Of course, as a squad, we are going to... Niklas with 42 goals, Baturina with 21, 17 for Kavar, Luca coming in with 12, 10 for Julian Blunt, Donny Marlon with 10, 8 for Matt Hummels in probably his last season at club level. Assists, absolutely outrageous amounts of assists. Now, this is where I love doing this for you guys, because I like to loan in players, because it comes down to you at the end of the day. I mean... You're in control now. If you get this save file, you essentially get to have the final call. Are you going to sign Luka Sucic? He had a good season. He's going to cost you, I would imagine, in range of around about £21 million. You've got a budget of 41, more than that. Wow, you've got a budget of £64 million. So it's not going to take up too much of your budget. Are you going to sign him? I'm interested to see what you guys do now, because Arda Güler didn't have a big season, but you could get him for a total price of around about... Oh, he's not interested. He doesn't have any interest, so you ain't going to get him for anything. But I'm interested what you do with Luka Sucic. Obviously, you've got Timber and you've got the goalkeeper joining on the permanent. I've left you with an incredible team, and we're signing out after winning a treble. Not the treble, but a treble. We have done wonders for this club in general. We've won another Champions League, another Bundesliga, another Pokal, a Super Cup. We've done very, very well, man. I'm very happy with how this rebuild has gone. I think that's where we're going to wrap up the video, because that has been a fantastic rebuild. I'm absolutely buzzing. If you've enjoyed the rebuild back home, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Again, comment below what you want to see next, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.